The 2024 silly season is set to be one of the biggest in the sport's history, with contracts running out all around Formula One. One team that we weren't expecting anything from, though, was Mercedes, as George Russell and Lewis Hamilton are both tied to the team till the end of 2025. Nonetheless, as the run-up to this season's car reveals begins, Mercedes announced the extension of a team member even bigger than Russell or Hamilton, Toto Wolff. Today, I'll talk about Toto Wolff's new Mercedes contract, whether it's good for the team or not, and when we'll get the first glimpse of the W15. So don't go anywhere. The Mercedes team boss, Toto Wolff, is part of a shrinking group of long-serving team principals. With the recent departure of Gunther Steiner from Haas, Toto is now one of only two team principals to have been leading his team for more than 2 years. 2024 will be his 11th year heading up the Mercedes operation, sharing the title of long-lasting with Christian Horner, who is in his 20th year as Red Bull boss. As a one-third owner of the Silver Arrows, Wolff's position as team principal was probably never that much in doubt. He's basically just given himself a new contract and said, "Here's your new contract, Toto." "Thank you, Toto." "You're very welcome, Toto. You earned that big raise." "Thanks, Toto. I think so as well." But if the word around the paddock is true, that isn't exactly the case. Wolff joined Mercedes in 2013, ahead of his tenure as team principal and CEO. When he joined the team, he had no hands-on experience of Formula One life past the boardroom. But in 2014, after a year learning the team principal role from one of the sport's best, Ross Brawn, he took over the reins as the leader of the Mercedes F1 team. The Silver Arrows hit rate in the past 10 seasons with Wolff at the helm has been nothing short of spectacular, with 7 drivers' titles, 6 for Lewis Hamilton and 1 for Nico Rosberg, and 8 constructors' titles in that period. What Wolff has established is a winning culture at the Brackley-based outfit, with a no-blame system for when things go wrong, which is often lauded by Wolff. Whilst 15 titles in his first 8 years for the team is an incredible achievement, the work to create the car and engine that earned those titles was done before he took over the team. He did steer Mercedes through various minor technical changes throughout those first 7 years, but as the rest of the grid innovated their aerodynamic philosophies in 2019, 2020 and 2021, Mercedes played it safe with what they knew worked, and it was Lewis Hamilton who paid the price in 2021. Under the new ground effect regulations, Mercedes have struggled to regain their title contending form of Toto's first 8 years, and has shown little to suggest that they could regain that form in 2024. Wolff has been vocal in encouraging growth from the team and has been pivotal in keeping Hamilton a part of the team as well. Nonetheless, he's appeared to struggle as Mercedes floundered for competitiveness, often calling out the cars his team creates as awful, exploding in the media, and losing the normal calm and collected Bond-villain facade he carries so well. Wolff's longevity means, like Horner, he's established himself as a leading voice when it comes to political matters in the sport, though the pair often butt heads when discussing sensitive topics, such as the Canadian Grand Prix team principals meeting, covered in Netflix Drive to Survive, a case in point. With Mercedes struggling to adapt to the new rules, there have been suggestions that wide-reaching change which goes further than just the technical department reshuffle that happened last season is needed. There have been rumors in recent years that Wolff would relinquish control while still at the top, something he himself has alluded to, but there is no suggestion that any change will come in the near future, as he's signed a new deal to stay on as team principal and chief executive of Mercedes, taking him through to the end of the 2026 season. The Austrian, who owns an equal 1/3 share of the F1 team with Ineos and Mercedes-Benz, said the trio decided to do it again as they plot a way back to the summit of the sport. While there have been plenty of questions about whether Wolff is the best person for the job still, the 52-year-old feels he remains the best person for the position, a view shared by Sir Jim Ratcliffe, Ineos' chief executive, and Mercedes-Benz chairman Ola Källenius. "I think the most important thing between the three of us is that we trust each other," Wolff told the Daily Telegraph. "At the end of the day, as a shareholder myself, I want the best return on investment, and the best return on investment is winning. I'm not going to try to hang on to a position that I think somebody is going to do better than me. I make sure that I have people around who can tell me otherwise." In the end, the three of us decided, let's do it again. Wolff's new contract will mean he's team principal through the first season of the new technical regulations in 2026. That means he'll oversee the Mercedes team as they incorporate carbon-neutral fuels and increased electrification into their engine, as well as grappling with brand new aero rules. Toto finished his statement by saying, "I'm part of this team in various functions. I'm a co-shareholder. I'm on the board. These are things which will not change whatever executive or non-executive role I have, but I feel good. The risk for me is always more bore out than burnout. That's why I embrace the challenges we have today, even though they sometimes feel very difficult to manage. 2026 is a few seasons away yet though, and as he said, there is no risk of him getting bored anytime soon, as Mercedes have plenty of problems that need solving in the short term. In 2022 and 2023, his team pursued a development path that was inherently flawed. The Zero Pod concept just did not work. Before they debuted it in 2022, they were extremely confident that they had come up with something that no one else would have, and it would provide them with enough performance to continue dominating the sport. While they were right about no one having the same idea, they were very wrong about the performance. We don't know whether the Zero Pod concept was never going to be fast, or if Mercedes just missed something that could have made it dominate the sport. Despite the idea clearly not working in 2022, Toto allowed his team to continue with the concept for 2023. As team principal, he will have signed off on and even encouraged the team to carry on with the Zero Pod concept, but that proved to be a huge mistake. After the first qualifying session of 2023, he declared that the car was terrible and that Mercedes would instead build a brand new car. The decision to continue with the old concept for an entire winter development cycle, just to bin it off after one qualifying session, was shocking. You can view the decision two ways. If you want to be optimistic, it could be viewed as a proactive decision by Wolff upon deciding that the car could never compete at the front of the grid with the Zero Pod concept. If you want to be pessimistic, then it was a decision that should have been taken 6 months earlier, when the 2022-23 winter development was being planned. Eventually though, the team did get to the correct decision and decided to change the concept, and for better or for worse, Wolff will be at the team to see them develop the current regulations car and the car for 2026. So, with Wolff at the helm for the new season, what should we expect from Mercedes? Speaking at the end of the 2023 season, team boss Toto Wolff said the new car would be drastically different from its predecessor. "I have never in my life felt optimistic about anything," he said. Which makes me sound a little bit miserable, but it has protected me about managing my expectations and just pushing harder, because I think it's never good enough. That's why, also today, I sit here with a bittersweet feeling. We've won P2, but we've lost P1. We're changing the concept. We're completely moving away from how we laid out the chassis, the weight distribution, the airflow. Literally, there's almost every component being changed, because only by doing that, I think we have a chance. We could get it wrong also. So, between not gaining what we expect, to catching up and making a big step, and competing at the front, everything is possible. If you ask me today, as always, skepticism. But that's the mentality of the team that pushes us forward, to never give up. Mercedes' brand new car concept will give fans hope of a big jump in performance, similar to those performed by Aston Martin and McLaren last year. The team will be releasing their 2024 Challenger on Valentine's Day, perhaps in the hope that it will inspire love from the fans and its drivers. How much they'll actually show of the new concept is another question. If tradition holds true, then we're likely to just see the 2023 car with a new livery, and will instead have to wait till preseason testing a week later to see what they've been cooking this Christmas. Do you think Wolff is the right man to take Mercedes back to being a title-challenging team and guide them into the new regulations in 2026? Or should they have looked elsewhere for a new team principal? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, and until next time, drive safe and bye for now.